Welcome everyone to the Vitamin Joy Tarot reading. Before we jump into this, I want to remind you that whenever I do these types of readings, that they're a little bit longer than my normal morning messages. So with this, you want to find yourself a comfortable place so you can, tune in and hopefully benefit from what we're going to share within the next 10 minutes or so. So the Vitamin Joy Tarot reading is something that I've developed, and I call it that because I believe very, very strongly in the idea of vitamin joy. The way that everybody's existence is, all of our lives, you, me, and everybody else, we will have trauma, pain, turmoil, chaos, all of that visit us without us asking for it. Which means to survive it, to stay healthy, we have to get our vitamins. If you don't get enough vitamin C, vitamin D, you're going to get sick. If you don't get enough joy, your heart, your mind, your spirit might grow bitter and jaded. So it is my hope that using my Vitamin Joy Tarot deck, this is the one I created, I hope that I can give you a little bit of guidance and wisdom and some guidance, especially around how to find joy in your life. I'll shuffle 5 times. This will be a 5-card reading. The first card will show where we are collectively. Now, this is for anybody who's watching this video. And then we will take a look at what should bring joy for our mind, body, heart, and spirit. So 5 cards with this idea, taking a look at where we're at and how we can find joy for those 4 distinct parts of us. So here we go. The card that represents where we're at right now is the 3 of Pentacles. The 3 of Pentacles talks about building. It's teamwork. So ultimately, what this card refers to is creation, but creating for the future with the wisdom of the past. I think we're all struggling with that. I am personally struggling in the way a historian would struggle. I see a lot of things going on in the world today that have happened in past cultures, countries, civilizations, and it seems like history is definitely repeating itself. Are we collectively building for the future with the wisdom of the past? Now, this is big stories, and this is our personal little moments of every single day. Here's an example. I see a lot of people, and I don't want to judge this, I'm just witnessing it. I'm seeing a lot of people share a lot of rage and fear around what's going on in the United States on a national level. How's that working out? That's the question that I would have for those folks who are rage posting. Now, I came across a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt that really spoke to me the other day, and it went like this, or something like this. It is better to light a candle than it is to curse the darkness. I see a lot of people cursing the darkness. I don't see a lot of people lighting candles. When you find yourself stressed today, yesterday, the day before, and you're going through your social media feed and you're being manipulated by organizations, people, and the companies that own those platforms, you're really being manipulated. Are you going through years and years and years of outrage? Like, I can only imagine what it's doing to folks' system. Now, I am all about anger and outrage if we can use it as a source of motivation and strength. I'm not about useless anger. I'm about anger that motivates and helps us. All right. Ask yourself how you're building for the future, be it tomorrow or 20 years from now, with the wisdom of the past. I think that's so important. So important for all of us in our personal lives and in our collective lives. All right. What should bring us joy for our mind? Comes to us from the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man talks about being hung upside down and seeing things from a different perspective. There's all sorts of, energy with the Hanged Man about martyrdom versus saviordom, but there is this idea of seeing things through a different perspective and finding enlightenment. What I like to do personally is I like to look at the good news. You won't find good news on classic media. Even social media, there's very little good news to be found because these platforms and legacy media, they want us all addicted to fear. Now, I don't want to be addicted to fear. I don't want to be manipulated, and I don't want to make politics and outrage the basis of my entire personality. Okay. I take the perspective of the sociologist and the historian. I don't give up on living to my values, but I understand what my two hands are capable of. When it comes to the hanged man and seeing things from a different perspective, I'm already seeing how good things are happening in our country based on the horrors that we're all collectively enduring. Okay, so bring joy to your mind by looking at things through a different perspective. And if it's the national stuff that's bothering you, read some history. Find some hope. Okay. If it's personal stuff that's bothering you, try to find a way around it. I'll give you an example. If you're somebody who bitches about doing their dishes, all right, you don't have to do your dishes. You get to do your dishes. If you're somebody who's bitching about washing dishes, imagine what dishes represents. You had food. You have hot water. You have soap. You have people in your family that ate food. You have a shelter. I mean, dishes, as much as we might bitch about it, doing them means that we're so well off. So it's not about having to do dishes, it's about getting to do dishes. And that's where we can find joy by flipping our perspective. Now, here is the joy for our heart. The Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant, that word is Greek for priest and or holy person. The card absolutely represents religion, spirituality, oppressive forms of those religions and spirituality. But when I created this card, I turned this guy into a key. One, because there are keys on the classic rendition of this card. But what the Hierophant has taught me is this. We are our own priest. We are our own priest. Each of us carries within us a divine spark that we can tap into. Seriously. Think about how much you hate your body. If you're somebody who dislikes your body, put that into your head. Now think about a child or a sister or a best friend feeling that way about their body, and think about what you tell them if they did. That guidance comes from love, which is a part of your soul, which is a part of your divinity. Nobody can take that away from you. They can only convince you that it's inaccessible. The Hierophant reminds us that we're our own priest. Now, you can get guidance from a person like me or other spiritualists, but I believe that a spiritualist or a spiritual path worth its salt will always guide a person back to the wisdom of their own heart. That's it. So remember how to find joy with your heart by asking yourself what you would tell your children or your loved ones if they were dealing with heartache, conflict, pain, or trauma. Mind, heart, body. Joy for our body comes from the Two of Wands. What do we want out of our world? And what do we think the world wants out of us? Now, because we are in the world, well, we are physical creatures. So moving your body in a way that brings you joy, super important. Like I went for a walk today. I moved my body, got some nature, and interestingly enough, if I move my body today, well, those dividends will pay out in the future. It'll pay out into the world I live in the future. I'm not saying hop on a treadmill, join a gym. I'm not saying any of that. But in ways that we can move our body that bring us joy, literally do this. Just pull your shades, move the coffee table out of the middle of the room, turn on some 80s dance music, put on a headband, and just dance. Move your body in the way that brings you joy. That will change your world. All right. And what should be bringing joy to our spirit? The Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands card for me is represented by Elton John's song, I'm Still Standing. This is something that I want to remind everybody. If you're watching this video, you've survived everything up to this point. The greatest beauty in this entire world for me is the perseverance of the human spirit in the face of adversity. And I believe that's what the angels think. I believe that's what divinity thinks. The perseverance of our spirit in the face of adversity. What a beautiful story that is. And if persevering in the face of adversity is a sign of beauty, think about all the adversity that you have survived and think about how beautiful you are because of it. All right. That's our Vitamin Joy Tarot reading. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. You can find me and everything that I offer on my website at joshsimons.com.